Hi everyone, this is Anna and welcome back to Anna's Take with a Twist. Today we're going to talk about this fantastic book called Antimatter Blues, a Mickey 7 novel by Edward Ashton. Now, for anyone who doesn't already know, this is actually the sequel to the book called Mickey 7, and I read the book Mickey 7. I've done a couple different videos on the book, so what I'm going to do is I'll just include those in the end credits for this video, the end card. And I'm not going to repeat myself outside of maybe three things for sure. The first is that I loved the book Mickey 7. I thought Mickey 7 was absolutely fantastic. There's so much about it that I loved that are in my other videos, so I hope you actually go back and watch those. And I absolutely loved Antimatter Blues. So if I had to pick between the two, I would rate Mickey 7 out of 4. And I would rate Antimatter Blues at a 4.5 out of 5, yes. Now, they're both fantastic. However, the difference is that in Mickey 7, we're learning about everybody, right? So we're getting all the background on Mickey Barnes, who became an expendable, disposable employee, why he did that. We're getting all the information on how he had met his friend Berto, who's also in Mickey 7. And Antimatter Blues, and all the circumstances surrounding Berto. I will say that in Mickey 7, Berto was kind of a jerk. So it's refreshing that he's not a jerk in Antimatter Blues, so that was good. At the same time, we're learning about Commander Marshall, who's in charge of where they live on this planet. And in Mickey 7, he was kind of a jerk in that one also. And in Antimatter Blues, he's a little bit more human, so that was really nice. We learned about Kat, who is a security guard. She didn't play a lot of a role in Mickey 7, but a larger role in Antimatter Blues, so that's very interesting. She's actually not a threat to Mickey 7 in this novel. And then, of course, we learn all about Nasha. So Nasha is Mickey 7's girlfriend, and Nasha is very, very smart, and she's actually fiercely protective of Mickey 7. So now that all of that information is there, we can now better enjoy the second Mickey 7 novel, which is Antimatter Blues. So I really, really enjoyed Antimatter Blues because in Mickey 7, the first novel, Mickey Barnes, the expendable, is really trying to he spends a lot of time trying to save himself from himself, actually. Whereas here in Antimatter Blues, he's made to save the dome, which is kind of like the planet, which is where they live. So there's a little bit of a twist. So I really enjoyed that. I'm going to read you something from the back cover of this book. It actually is praise for Mickey 7. However, it's very relevant to Antimatter Blues. So here we go. This is from the main edge, so Maine being the city, so M-A-I-N-E. So it says, a sharp speculative work that is both intellectually orientated and action-packed, which of course I agree with. I am going to say that for Mickey 7 and also for Antimatter Blues. I will say though that in my opinion, because now there's, like I said, all the groundwork is already laid, I'm going to say there's more action in this book than there was in Mickey 7. So something else I just want to read you, and it's from the dust cover of Antimatter Blues. So second paragraph. Summer has come to Niflheim. The lichens are growing, the six-winged-back things are chirping, and, much to his own surprise, Mickey Barnes is still alive. The last part, thanks almost entirely to the fact that Commander Marshall believes that the colony's creeper neighbors are holding an antimatter bomb, and that Mickey is the only one who's keeping them from using it. Mickey's just another colonist now. Instead of cleaning out the reactor core, he spends his time these days cleaning out the rabbit hutches. It's not a bad life. It's not going to last. So there we go. I'm just going to read the dedication that Edward Ashton gave to someone by the name of Jack. It says, for Jack, who taught me what it means to be an artist. I truly hope you're pleased with the result. Well, I don't know if Jack is pleased with the result, but I would just like to tell Mr. Edward Ashton, if in case he's listening, that I am very, very pleased with the result. I absolutely loved Antimatter Blues, like I said, it's 4.5 out of 5. Of course, there's always room for improvement. I loved it because, you know what, I'm not going to say that it's sci-fi, because it really could fall into, now I'm going to say, more speculative fiction. At the same time, you know what, it's really easy read, it's action-packed, very entertaining, very funny, and something that I never really thought of before, but I'm just going to say it. I don't know who else has thought this. However, I think it's like a slow burn romance, which I was really surprised by. I didn't notice that. Like, as I think back now, I think, yes, of course, the book Mickey 7 was like that. But once again, because we're laying all the groundwork for all the different characters, you know, there's more character development. The arcs are better because we can get to know them a lot more. But at the same time, it's more of a slow burn romance. And I'm sticking to that. That's all I have to say. I really, really enjoyed that part. And I'm really curious to see if there's going to be another Mickey 7 novel. Because I want to know what happens with, I just want to know what happens with the characters. How about that? I don't want to give anything away because it's such a great book. So I'm going to read something from the first page because I think it's just fantastic. So here we go. I just saw myself in the corridor. Nash looks up from her tablet. She's sitting in our desk chair, feet propped up on our bed, wearing nothing but underwear and boots. That's not a look that many people can pull off, but Nasha manages it with a bomb. She pushes her braids back from her face and drops her feet to the floor. Nice to see you too, she says. Close the door. So nothing happens after that, but that's like the first 120 pages of the 120 words, of the book. And then here they have a doppelganger, actually. So it's not another Mickey. It's someone who actually looks just like Mickey Barnes. However, Mickey 7, Mickey Barnes, does not agree with that, which I find very interesting. So here's Nasha saying, right, so unless 8's really been hanging around with the creepers for the last 2 years and just decided to rejoin us, you couldn't have seen yourself wandering around the corridors. Are you sure it wasn't Harrison? Harrison? You mean Jamie Harrison? She grins. Yep, he's like your doppelganger, right? I could definitely see you mistaking him for you. And then Jamie Harrison works in agriculture, so he takes care of the rabbits, which is exactly where Mickey 7 works. So I thought that was just really kind of interesting. That's on page 2. In this book, just like the Mickey 7, there's no drugs, at all. So I'm really kind of glad because we have so many drugs around us anyway. I'm really kind of grateful that there's a book that clearly says on page 34, what? No, I'm not looking for drugs. The book is just so incredibly well written. It's beautiful. I really enjoyed the climax, which is from chapter 21 to chapter 24. I read that twice because it is so incredibly beautifully written. It's very, very cinematic. And I really liked the pacing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't too fast. It wasn't one of those books. Sometimes you read a book and it's just so jarring. You're just you feel like you just had whiplash. You should go to the doctors maybe and have yourself checked out because it just went that fast and it was just a lot of that. I didn't find that. So like I said, I just found it was very, very well paced. It's fantastic climax. At the same time, very action packed, but I didn't find it confusing, which I have found in other books where I had to go back and reread that. It's just what happened there? So once again, very, very cinematic. So I'm really hoping that Mr. Edward Ashton is going to write another Mickey 7 novel. Now, this is something that I did mention in one of my other videos. Because I found this on Goodreads when someone else had asked the question if Edward Ashton's going to write another Mickey 7 novel, and that was after they're talking about Antimatter Blues. And this is what he said. He said, what happens after that will be determined after consultation with my agent, my editor, and a casting of the bones. I do have a skeleton of another Mickey book in the back of my brain, but it's not 100% clear right now, if or when it will ever see the light of day. So this is what I got from the internet. Mickey 17 earned a total of $131.8 million at the global box office, with $46.04 million domestically, $85.8 million internationally. Despite this, the film is considered to be a flop due to its reported $118 million production budget. And the film's box office performance was disappointing, especially given its large budget and talent involved. Many considered it to be a missed opportunity despite the film's positive reviews and success on streaming platforms. So yes, I also think that it was a missed opportunity, because really, I think a lot of people, and I mentioned this in one of my videos, that I thought it was going to be such a fantastic movie. It was going to be turned into a TV series. And I think that's why Edward Ashton hasn't written any more Mickey 7 novels. I think there's still time. There's a huge fan base, in my opinion, for the book Mickey 7, and of course for the book Antimatter Blues. Like I said, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because it's just such a fantastic book. As I said earlier, Mickey 7 is a fantastic book. Now, I did purchase that book, and I showed that in the couple of videos that I did about the book Mickey 7. However, I did borrow the book Antimatter Blues, the Mickey 7 novel by Edward Ashton, from the Toronto Public Library. So they do have it, so if you don't want to purchase a book, I understand. You can always get it from the library. If not, you can always go to Toronto's oldest, Canada's oldest sci-fi and fantasy bookstore called Bakka-Phoenix Books. I'll leave the information for that below. If in case you do want to purchase Mickey 7 or Antimatter Blues, I will leave that information down below also. That will be from Amazon.ca, and yes, I will get a little bit of money from that, just so you know. At the same time, you can always get the audiobook. Once again, I rated Mickey 7 a 4 out of 5, and the book Antimatter Blues, right here, 4.5 out of 5. And the reason is because, once again, all the information was already given to us in Mickey 7, so there's a lot of information, backstory, and I love the books. I hope that you read them both, whether it's from the library, listen to the audiobook, or someone lends you the book. And at the same time, I'm really, really hoping, please, fingers crossed, Edward Ashton, please write another book for the Mickey 7 novels. I really want to know what happens with Nasha, and I really want to know what happens with Mickey 7. And once again, like, the books are absolutely fabulous, and everything begins with the writing, and thank you ever so much. I really hope to have another novel, and yes, thank you again. If you like today's video, please like the video. Of course, you can always leave a comment, and yes, you can always subscribe. Thanks again for watching Anna's Take with the Twist, and that's a wrap.